Hey everyone, it is Walker, Shelby, and Tim the Bubble Boy.
Here I am.
At Full Spectrum Laser, and we are inside the laser lab, as always. It is going to be a good one, so let's get started.
Yeah.
So we have a couple of videos to share with you guys. We're going to talk about things. Remember, Q&A is always at the end. We'll get everybody's questions at the end. Say hi as we're going. Hi, Mom. Hi, Tim's mom. Hi, Crystal. Hi, John.
And
Also,
probably Dad.
Happy St. Patrick's Day, everybody.
Yes, happy
Yeah.
St. Patty's
Got our
Day.
green. Tim has his green.
A tiny bit of green.
Walker has his green.
Got my green.
You get pinched otherwise.
Well, might take it off then.
Well,
So we have a couple of videos. One is a weekend build I did. It actually took a couple of weekends to be realistic, but it was a fun build, and I wanted to share it with you. We also have one of our musers.
Makers, musers. You
Stop
guys
trying
can
to
vote
make
on it.
musers a thing.
Musers is a
It's
thing.
never
and
going to be a thing.
We have one of our musers that has an awesome YouTube channel. His name is Zach Fowler, and what's his channel's name?
Fowler's
Fowler's-
Makery and Mischief.
Makery and Mischief.
There we
it's
go.
it's a mouthful, but his channel's really cool. He's kind of like the coolest guy ever.
Yeah, he's pretty wild. So we're going to show a clip of that with his laser and what he does with lasers. So sort of get the gears going for people who don't know what they want to make. Just sort of, inspire, really.
Yeah.
And then we're going to jump into the software, and I'm going to show you guys how to trace bitmaps in RE3.
New RE3 feature.
Yeah.
Very
so
exciting.
I think we will start off with my weekend build because it's about fish. I know Jeanette hates fish, and I've turned into this weird fish guy. That's weird, right? Like,
He's turning into a slowly turning into a fish man.
Yeah, allegedly he got puffer fish and named them after Ryan and myself, but I'm not sure if those names stuck.
yeah, it was Shelby Jr. and Ryan Jr. that were the puffer fish, and Shelby Jr. died.
That tracks.
Died or killed us all, I don't know. So, yeah, let's just go into the weekend build.
All right.
Spring has sprung at
The wrong video.
There you go.
My bad.
Our
Wrong
friends
video.
on Instagram, we can peep over here to Tim's computer, and you'll be able to see the video we're talking about. We'll do questions at the end.
Yeah,
We'll
let's
get 'em.
just do questions, man.
So you can zoom in on there if you want, so we can see
We're
them a
on the
little
video.
better. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't realize we were on here. I was trying to help out our Instagram behind the scenes.
You're in the bubble.
Didn't realize I was in the bubble.
Speaking of bubbles, what are we looking at here?
We're looking at fishies, dude. And honestly, I use the laser a lot when it comes to building the fish tanks and stuff like that. And I
there
have
we
been
go.
for a while. And you'll see a lot of products actually on the market are laser cut. So, I don't know, it's very interesting. And I don't see a lot of cool, like unique things done. It's always like some basic ugly stand and just a lot of basic stuff. And I just want to sort of marriage between, what is that? Like beauty and function. Like this piece right here, I think it looks really good. And the whole piece pops off.
Was that Velcroed in place there?
Yeah, it's Velcro.
Nice.
So is all of this just to kind of hide all the bells and whistles behind the fish tank kind of a thing?
For the most part, yeah.
Okay.
And that bottom piece is actually from another company. I didn't build it, but they laser cut it and assemble it and sell it for like hundreds of dollars. And it's just essentially an acrylic box.
So you laser cut these little lilies? Flower
I just
guys?
want to add some decoration to it because those fish are super timid. That kind of hides, allows them to be safe on that corner because that corner gets a lot of action, like traction while we walk by. So they get very skittish. I laser cut, I found these little vials and I put my fish food in there and it's not so ugly to have like the big ugly things just sitting around. So they sort of sit above the tank and I can feed through that hole, which ties into that little design that also holds the algae magnet. So just so I don't lose things, I've started making things like fit in different places because I lose everything all the time. So.
You're falling out of the bubble.
Oh gosh.
Unacceptable.
So having places like specifically made to fit those pieces is very good, for me at least, because I do lose everything. And it just, it's just nice. Looks nice, everything's together. These fish don't like the black background, so I covered it with white, and I added some details to that. It's like an overflow.
Cool. Very cool. Why don't those
Cool.
No, why don't those fish like the black background? What's up with that?
Well, so they start to try to blend in to their background. So all the cool colors they have like start getting speckly and ugly, and it doesn't keep them as like clean because they try to blend in. It's very interesting.
Very interesting.
It's interesting to get. I never thought I'd be there, crazy weird fish guy, but here we are.
It happens to all of us.
Yeah. I hope you guys enjoyed it. All the questions we'll get to the end. Now we will get to our muser, Zach Fowler. Let's just watch that video.
We're going to roll a clip of his video, basically.
Yeah, and if you guys want to continue to follow him, find him on YouTube. We'll put it in the comments and the description on YouTube as well, so you can go follow him because he does all kinds of cool stuff.
Yeah, let's check it out.
One of the coolest things, though, about a blowgun is how easy it is to make a target and how safe it is to shoot these inside. Unlike a slingshot where you're shooting and ricochets can mean broken glass and different things, a blowgun, all you need is like 7 layers of cardboard of Amazon boxes, stick them together, drive your darts into them from any distance. They're really fun to shoot. Kids can shoot them. Fill your belly with air. But, of course, we're going to make it overly complicated and make some targets on my laser. And I just had this last minute idea. These are such a simple dart from Cold Steel, and I think I can make my own darts on the laser. So let's whip out some darts, whip out some targets, and then go outside and have some fun. This is the Muse laser from Full Spectrum. They gave me this a couple months ago. Instantly became a very important part of my business. It's an employee that I don't have to pay anything. No, but seriously, the shovel I used to win Alone Season 3 and we sell on the website, I always hand engrave those, but the orders are just too many nowadays to be able to keep up with. So I programmed the Muse laser to create a template that holds all these shovel handles in place. And then I added my signature through their software, duplicated it, and zap. Now we can keep up with orders on the website and everybody actually gets to have a signed shovel. It's also allowed me to design slingshot pouches and cut them out in the hundreds after only designing one and just hitting duplicate. It can cut up to a 1/4 inch piece of plywood, so the only limitations are really your creativity. Check out the link below if you want to know more about the Muse laser. As well as using it to make some darts and targets for today's adventure, I've been designing some new pouches for our new line of Mischief pouches, which will be available soon on the website. This first one's called the Chimera. It's a cross between microfiber and heavy marine canvas, making it more sturdy and durable and allowing you to shoot longer and have more fun. I even went so far as to reach out to my brother Joseph Fowler in Vermont. He's quite the artist, and so he's designed a mascot for each of the pouches. This is what he came up with for the Chimera. It turned out pretty awesome. And Matt and I plugged the basic slingshot pouch into Affinity Designer and tuned it up a little bit for our new design.
how about that?
I love that. That was awesome.
Very
Yeah.
cool.
And if you get to watch the whole video on his YouTube, you can see him blow dart those targets.
Yeah, I liked how he used the laser to do all sorts of different components for the slingshot, for the darts, for everything. And then he was creating things in RE3, which is super cool.
Yes, I feel like a lot of people don't understand that you can do almost anything in there. And that's a great segment into our next video where we jump into the software and show you the Trace Bitmap feature.
Love Trace Bitmap.
All right, well, let's jump into the software then.
Yeah. Hey everyone, it's Walker at Full Spectrum Laser, and today I wanted to show you a cool feature I don't think you know is in RE3, and that is the Trace Bitmap feature. We're just going to go over it real quick and talk about why it's so awesome. First, we're going to open up the software, we're going to minimize it, and we're going to drag and drop just a JPEG image. Just your typical JPEG. We're going to change that to threshold over in the raster design settings, and now we have our image. This is very typical if you want to do an engraving, but let's say we don't want to do an engraving. We want to cut this file out. So in the same sort of settings on this side, we're going to scroll down and click Trace Image, and just that simple, we have a vector. Remember, vectors are for cuts if we wanted to. What's cool is we can also edit this within RE3. So you can go ahead, delete these nodes, and say you want to engrave this image and then cut out the outside of it, with the same shape. Well, very easily done. We just delete these nodes or anchor points, depending on what software you're used to. And now we have an outline. So we can engrave and then cut. Let's say we don't want to cut. Engrave. We just delete that. Now we still have our path. We can do all sorts of things. We could infill this, do whatever you want. So I hope you learned a little bit. Knowing the tools in the software, it can really empower you to continue to be better at designing for lasers and just understanding RE3 in general. It's not limited. You can design right here or just tweak your designs if they don't work from, say, your Illustrator or Inkscape type programs. So I hope you learned a lot, and until next time, keep making.
And we're back.
Really,
Wow.
I think Trace Bitmap is a super powerful tool when it comes to designing in RE3. Sort of a game changer. We've had it for a while. I just don't think a lot of people knew that.
I actually didn't know that.
Really?
Yeah, the more you know. I've been a big fan of Inkscape, and I think a lot of our musers are out there using Inkscape as well to do their Trace Bitmap work. But it's really good to know that you can just cut out the extra step. You can do everything in RE3, just go straight from your brain basically to the laser without having to export and download and do all those extra steps in between just to be able to get to that zip zap stage.
So now that you know that, will you design a little more in RE3?
Yeah, definitely.
So actually, since we edited that video, it was just me putting bumpers on the video that you did, but I had to go back and update one of our YouTube videos because it said that there wasn't a way to do that in RE3, and now there is.
There you go.
The more you know.
So I think that is a perfect show of how we're always trying to get better with this software, really leading innovation when it comes to that. As we create the software, we design the electronics, we build the machines in-house, sort of all boils down to why you would go with FSL And I think we have a perfect video for that as well.
Yes.
Let's hit it.
Meatball.
Daddy.
I mean, I hope that is a good. I think that's a good video, right? That showed everything that we do, right?
I think some folks didn't have the audio on that awesome video.
What?
We had a couple people saying no audio for that video.
Oh no.
Thumbs down. We will upload it to our YouTube though, and I will make sure we share that awesome YFSL video on all of our social media. So if you guys weren't able to hear it, or if we're having some kind of technical difficulty, hopefully not, you will be able to hear it very soon. We get to hear the sweet, sultry voice of Tim as he tells you all of the great things about FSL. We are really doing some very innovative stuff over here.
Relentlessly.
Yes.
So we'll put that on YouTube, and if you guys are interested, leave comments, questions, concerns, smash that like button, you know. Subscribe if you want to see more, you know. The typical YouTube stuff. And I think we have one more video before we get to our Q&A, and that is our spring saving sale, which do you want to sort of elaborate on that?
Yeah, so we have some deals on our Muse 3D, our fiber Galvo.
I'll bring up the graphic while you're talking. Then
the Pandora, and also the Pro 36. So we're slashing prices to save you this spring. If you give us a call here at our sales in-house, they can help you out with that and walk you through all the steps that you need to do to bring home a new laser. That's pretty much it.
let's check out this sale video.
Spring has sprung at Full Spectrum Laser. We're offering amazing deals on some of your favorite machines. The Muse 3D, the Pandora, the Open Fiber Galvo, and the Pro Series 36 are some of the great machines that you can save on today. If you can think it, you can make it. With different sizes and options, nothing is off limits. If you're ready to get started with your next laser, contact our sales team for more information. Until then, keep making.
There we go.
All right.
When's that sale start? Did it say in the video?
So the sale actually just started this past Monday. You are good to enjoy it through the end of the month. So as long as your quotes are written by the end of the month, you should be good to go. So if you didn't catch that number, I will repost that for you as well. You can give us a call here at our sales line. You can shoot us an email, and we will hook you up with some awesome deals.
Oh, that doesn't have the number. I thought it had the phone number. Sorry.
So
I mean, but that's good too. The email is just as good.
Right.
I think email's better a lot of the time, just because the phones are ringing off the hook, especially just everybody. We get everybody's support, questions, comments, concerns, you know, just like on YouTube. When you're watching right now, you could do that.
Yeah.
So it is the Q&A section. So
Q&A.
I think we'll just have Tim, well, yeah, Tim and Ryan behind Instagram, sort of ask us all the questions that people are asking,
All right.
and we'll knock them out one by one, yeah?
Yeah, sure.
All
So I
right.
have one on YouTube from Josh Speck. He says, if our laser says it hasn't connected to the update server in X number of days, how do we get it connected?
So usually that happens after 30 days, and usually that's in lease mode as well, so you just need to boot up the machine and connect it to the internet. Make sure it's connected to the internet. A lot of people hardwire, and then so it doesn't go up into the internet to be able to update. So just make sure you do so, and you will be good.
And if that still doesn't work, you can contact support, and they can usually like push an update.
Walk you through.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you have your MAC address ready, then you can just give it to them. And what you staring at over there?
Nothing. I was just listening to
Oh,
you
okay.
talk.
MAC address ready, and
Just stare at you instead.
Okay, that works. And support will get back to you. Okay, you can stare over there
Yeah,
now.
see? Just trying to not make you uncomfortable.
All right, too late. All right.
Well, I have the dude animal wants to know, Walker, I just bought him used 3D. Will you sign it?
Sure. Sounds fun. We did that sign video, right? Where I signed somebody else's video?
Yes,
Yeah, we
if you
did.
haven't seen that, it is on the Facebook, it's on the Instagram, it's all of those things. You can see Walker signing, was it a 48?
I believe so.
I think it was.
Yeah, for another one of our customers. So yeah, if you are interested in that, you can just shoot us a DM and we will
We'll make
get
it
Walker
a big
writing.
deal. It's fun for us. At least fun for me to stroke the ego, you know? And
His head's big enough. Stop.
I mean, yeah, this thing's barely holding on here. But what? I bought fancy silver Sharpies just for that occasion. So
Ooh.
I only used it once, so I'm ready.
Plenty of ink left in that silver Sharpie.
Yeah, just make sure your salesman knows before we ship it out, or else it's too late.
Yes.
Put it in the notes or something.
Mhm.
All right, real questions. Let's get down to the nitty-gritty.
All right, so Kelly Stanridge would like to know, can the Pro use different rotaries?
So the Pro, it depends on what Pro you have, but we do have a friction rotary and a chuck rotary.
Yes.
And those only come with the Pro machines. Anything Muse-based only has the friction at this moment. For the Titan, possibly chuck rotary down the road. Really depends on demand. But I believe they're working on a sort of add-on to the rotary. Didn't we have that meeting about
Yes.
that? Where the chuck will be sort of an add-on to the rotary that exists already. So it's a very interesting product coming down. We'll see how that goes.
Crystal Payne, in regards to your fish tank design,
Yeah.
would like to know, would you be able to engrave on the acrylic, or would that mess up the structure?
Yeah, you could engrave that. Easy. That's actually a tank that I had. It was all mostly the components, like the covering, the sort of facade to cover all. It had ugly doors, so I ripped off the doors. I'd rather, because the doors only open like this, and they're still in the way. It's so much better to just take the whole thing off, pull it out. So yeah.
But that'd be kind of cool if you engraved on the tank itself, like seaweed or something up the side.
It would
be kind of cool.
And then if you edge lit it, it would catch
Ooh.
like crazy.
Yeah.
Would be cool. Maybe the sides, not the front. You want like,
You want to be able to see your fish.
yeah, that you paid way too much money for. Yeah.
So this is in regards to the Pro Series machines.
Mm-hmm.
They were saying that a few months ago we mentioned that we could get the new autofocus, but there's nowhere to purchase it on the site, they're saying.
So if you look it up, it should be there. Otherwise, it would be because we had a high demand and they're sold out. So contact your salesman and they will get you the new autofocus as soon as we have them in stock. I believe we're super low right now.
Yep. Sales@fslaser.com. If you have any questions or you can't find something on our website you're trying to buy, shoot us an email. We'll get it figured out for you.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see here. Joy McAlvin would like to know, will our referral codes work along with the spring sale?
I think actually Louise answered that question there in the chat. Just after that, I believe he said we can't stack those
promo
promos.
codes. Yep. Promo
So-
codes cannot be stacked with the spring promo.
So if you do have a referral code and it's been used many times, most likely it's probably better than this spring sale, right?
Yes.
So there you go.
Do any of the lasers cut on an angle like a 5-axis water jet?
Unfortunately, not. But if you wanted to be really cool, you could probably laser cut your own thing with a mirror and then do that. But yeah, we don't sell that or make that.
Yep.
That would be crazy.
3-axis only.
Yep.
It's really only 2-axis while it's running.
Mm.
Technically.
Technically
speaking. Okay, Louise said that we are currently out of stock, but put a link to the new autofocus.
Your boy?
Dennis Stark wants to know, hey Tim, will you sign my Titan when it's ready?
All right.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Getting Tim up on the board.
Absolutely.
There we go. Now it's a competition.
You're going down. I'm just going to go into the warehouse and just start signing.
Everything?
Everything.
Wait,
Whether you want it or not.
Like, what is this chicken scratch on? It got scratched.
This has Tim's signature on it. Can I get a discount?
Seems real ugly.
Whitney Stewart Wells wants to know, is there a material cheat sheet available anywhere? Just getting started.
Great question. I was actually talking to somebody about this earlier today. So we do have the material test. Part of our Laser 101. It's in there with our blogs. I can probably post a link about this because it's been a really popular question this week. So it is just a good way to get you started. They are not tried and true. I would highly recommend you start with those numbers and test to find what works perfectly for your material, because material is different depending on where you get it from. We also have super awesome videos on the YouTube. So if you go to our Full Spectrum Laser YouTube channel and you search for power settings, you're going to get 3 different videos. I believe it's the second one that pops up there for you is going to be the best one, but all 3 of those are super helpful when you're just getting started trying to figure out all of those numbers.
Yep, I believe the second one that she mentioned is in our first time user playlist, our RE3 tutorial playlist.
Yes.
Perfect.
Also, very redundant, it's in the software. So if you go in your power settings, there's a little arrow on the side and it will give you like 1/4 inch acrylic, power setting suggestions. Like Shelby said, they are suggestions. They're good starting points. There's too many variables to be like, boom, that's it. That's why other companies sell their own material and you're like sort of married to buying their material. And we didn't want that because we like using our own, whatever we
Whatever
find.
you want, yeah. So with that, on that same area where you can go and it has all of those settings in your RE3, you can actually make custom ones as well. So if you have a particular material you like to use and you've done your tests and you find exactly what that sweet spot of numbers are, like Fred Jones' magic numbers for his cups on the rotary, right? You can actually save that as a custom preset? Is that the right one? Yeah, so you always have those settings in there for whatever materials you are specifically using.
And let's get real with power settings. To be honest, if you make a circle, a vector circle, a tiny one, you have your material, most likely you're not going to cut the whole thing.
Right.
You're going to have a very small area where you just cut a circle. Put your power settings in there, just make a guesstimate. If it cuts through, you're good. Feel the edge of that wood. If it's too charred, you put too much power. If it's not cutting through all the way, you just bump your power. It's power settings. I understand if it's like a one and done thing, like somebody gave you their boot and they want like a custom engraving, you don't want to mess it up. Just take a piece of leather. It's going to be very similar and just try it. Always trying. I mean, all those power settings we got through the presets is something I just tried, right?
And another thing is if you are unsure, like say you have that situation with that leather boot, start low. And if you have to run it a second time, you run it a second time without damaging anything.
Yeah, there's
Play it
nothing
safe.
wrong with, oh man, I can't ruin this. Let me test a low power on this boot or whatever it may be, a purse. You don't want to ruin it. Low power, too low, stop it, run it again.
Yep.
Just make sure you don't move it.
Just for clarification's sake, we've got the question a couple times. Is the Muse laser a fiber or a CO2? Obviously, we have different machines with Muse, so maybe for some clarification.
Clarification, there's the Muse 3D, Muse 2D, the Muse Core, and those are all CO2 lasers. And then we have the Muse Titan, which is a CO2 laser. The only fiber lasers we have are the Muse Galvo and the Muse Pandora.
Yes.
Yep.
So the fibers are those very boxy looking guys. They look more like a cube. That's your fiber.
Cube, weird arm thing. They don't look very similar to our Our Muse
traditional
line.
Muse.
Yeah, the traditional Muse is very like flat, kind of like a flat box,
Yes.
rectangular.
Hope that
flat
answered the question.
box.
We also have giant metal fiber cutters, but most people aren't really buying those.
Those are
Your
like
average customer.
But if you do need
industrial
one,
size.
We got them.
We
sales
got
at
'em.
fslaser.com.
Shelby
Um,
at FSLaser.com.
Crystal Payne is curious, and actually I've seen a few people ask this on the forums. There's a Bluetooth connection icon on the touchscreen.
Mm-hmm.
What is that for? Is it a future feature, or
I don't know.
what?
You tell me. I don't know.
We might have to
But
consult
we
Phil.
used to have hotspot,
Mm.
but I believe we enabled it. I haven't seen that, but I'll look and I'll ask.
Yeah. We'll figure it out.
So we will circle back on the
Yeah,
Bluetooth.
we'll put it in the comments.
I have one more. My Muse 3D autofocus seems to lose its alignment very quickly. Any recommendations on how to keep it aligned longer? That's from Bob Humphrey.
Bob Humphrey. So alignment, I'm assuming, Bob, that you do, and this is an assumption, and we know what assumptions do. But I will say that you probably do a lot of rastering. I've noticed that with my laser, I don't raster that much, and I never have to align. Like, I haven't aligned my laser in my garage in a very long time. And then for Christmas, I wanted to do a gift, and I engraved my brother on this piece of wood for my mom, and then she cried. And afterwards, it was out of alignment. And that's because the laser is doing this a lot. When a vector, it's sort of following the line. So do less rasters. No, I'm just kidding. Really, make sure your bolts are nice and tight. I mean, there's Loctite. I don't suggest it, but if it's super loose, you want to get those bolts nice and tight. Really, make sure your gantry is square as well. I know I had such a hard time aligning this machine, and I was like, what's going on here? And the gantry was just a little off square. And so I would check that. You loosen, actually that's a whole process. We can talk about that if we get there.
Yeah.
So,
It says Bob here, he does both actually. So I guess he means he does a lot of engraving and a lot of vectoring. Bob, I would say if you're doing a lot of that engraving, just be mindful of that if you need to make those adjustments. But if you feel like this is an excessive problem, we can get you in contact with support. You can shoot us a DM here on Facebook. Daniel Creed is really helpful. You can talk to him, and we can try to make sure everything is operating the way it's supposed to for you.
try to make sure that gantry's nice and square. Super easy, super fast. So Justin's helpful in support.
I think we have a question from Instagram.
Yes. There seems to be a lag in my onboard software for my laser. Is there a fix for that?
Lag, how? When you boot up, when you upload a ton of vector data, when you have a ton of projects open? Like, what is the lag? Are you directly connected? Are you connected to Wi-Fi? Let
Yeah,
us know.
if it's just like slow and just kind of not really reacting very quickly, just make sure that you don't have too many projects open.
A ton of projects will slow it down. If you have no projects, just like all those projects on the left-hand side, if you want to keep it to one workspace and just work with that, that will help with that. Having a ton, I know a lot of times I create a file in Inkscape that I'm just going to engrave. There's no reason for all that vector data, but I do it anyways. And sometimes that takes a little bit to load, but we've actually in this latest update made things much faster when it comes to uploading vectors. So when the update comes out, make sure you get it. I think that will help you out.
All right. Yulia Rojas wants to know about cutting and engraving using the riser pass-through. He hasn't tried it yet.
I'm assuming on the Muse 3D?
I believe so. I'm not 100% sure.
So it depends on what riser you have. We have several different models because we've tried to make the one better. If you have the one where your honeycomb sort of slides in the front and sits there, then you will need a, what is that, a 5-inch lens.
The 5-inch lens, yeah.
Yes.
With the Titan, on the other hand, You don't need an additional lens, correct?
No, the Titan has an extremely, what is it, like the Z-axis goes crazy up and crazy down. It actually can focus beneath the removable floor itself. So no issues there. And the pass-through is below the floor even. So a lot of redundancy there, but good redundancy.
Yeah.
You know, you just answered a question I had in my head that I didn't remember that I had. We were using an older model of the 24 this past weekend, and we were trying to use the pass-through, and we were trying to focus it, and I was like, this is so far. What is going on? And I was like, but clicked. Needed a different, needed the 5-inch guy.
You're right and wrong.
Oh.
So, which is good, because we've had a ton of people actually bring this up, like for some reason recently, and they don't know. So yes, if you have your laser in the full upright position and your Z table is all the way down for the pass-through on the 24, it won't reach. But the lens is in a telescopic tube. You loosen that, and that lens can come down another 2 inches. So.
All right, so Kaylin, we can circle back to that project and not have trouble.
Yeah, meatball. Come on.
Meatball mommy.
So yeah, that's a couple of people have had that issue.
Yep.
Telescopic.
Brenda Stutterheim wants to know, is the spring promo pricing online? I believe those are call-in prices only.
Yeah, so they can call, they can send an email, and we can get you all squared away with that spring pricing.
Yep.
Okay.
Any other questions? Let's just move
Well,
on. I'm trying to read them from here.
Yeah, it says
Yeah,
Julio
somebody
Rojas, who was asking about the Muse 3D
Oh, yeah.
riser, was just asking if they needed to have the
5-inch lens.
5-inch
Yes.
lens.
I'm turning into my father with this face.
Just you gotta move your glasses up and down. There you go.
Yeah, see, Gina didn't know about that either. We just had the same revelation.
Really?
It's gonna be a huge game changer now.
That's Gina? Yeah.
Yep.
That I'm telling you, a lot of people don't know. It's true.
I mean, like,
Glad
you
we
know,
solved
because you
one of the
adjust
mysteries of
it,
the
right?
universe today.
Right. That's
Like, you
that's
know
how
it, but
we
you don't know it.
Right.
Yeah, it's got several thumb screws that
Yeah.
you can loosen, and like I feel like some people like loosen one and go, that doesn't do anything, and then tighten it back
Right.
up.
Yeah, but
Like-
it's like 2.
And I will say you can loosen them all the way, and it will just fall right out. So be
Yeah, be
careful with
careful.
that. It won't break anything, but
That's
Good
it's
smudge it.
typically
Get
that's
the
typically
smudgies on
how we focus our 48.
yeah,
Because we don't use the autofocus pen typically.
Yes.
No, and like my Z table at home on my 48, like I took the belts off to do maintenance, and I never put them back on. So I just only use the telescopic lens for Z, focusing. So what ifs?
Well, there you go.
Any more questions from Instagram, YouTube, or Facebook?
Gina Peterson asked, is it possible for you guys to do a tutorial for the pass-through with the Muse 3D? We have.
Muse pass through 3D?
Yeah, the Muse 3D pass-through.
Did we? I know we did a pass through on the Pro.
Oh, we did. Yeah, we did do it on the Pro. That's my mistake.
Yeah, we can do a 3D. Why don't we knock out pass through? I mean, this has been like the bane of video existence, doing the pass through video. Because those things fly off the shelf so fast. It's like,
It's hard for us to get our hands on one to film it.
yeah. So
Yeah.
we'll get that. And we need one for the Muse Titan anyways. So let's get a good video on that.
Yeah.
Tim over there.
I have one more question.
One more question from Instagram.
For the Muse core, the nozzle gets dirty from some bowed wood, even though they try to weigh it down. Would an alternate lens for a higher clearance help with this?
Technically, you could do a 2.5 and it'll be a little higher. But a bowed piece of wood is just a pain in the butt, period. What I've found is you can get bars of metal that are real thin, and sort of, they're flat and they fit in there and they sort of weigh down the wood, and that's the best I found for bowed pieces of wood. It's even worse with I feel bigger pieces of wood for the Pro because it just gets even more bowed. But I know that's a total pain in the butt. So heavy piece of flat metal really works with that. The nose cone you do need to maintain as well. Take that thing off and clean it because it will get dirty.
We're planning on doing maintenance videos and vlogs and things.
Tons of maintenance videos. Maintenance is in the manual though, for basic stuff.
But it's always more fun to watch the video on the maintenance or read
I-
something cool on the
yeah.
maintenance than having to dig through the manual.
Especially if it's Tim.
Mm-hmm.
All right, all right. Let's see one more question from Facebook or YouTube.
Angela Tackett asks, I just logged on. Recently was told the rotary had a fix for the arm that falls out. Any insight?
Rotary fix for arm that falls out. I didn't know the rotary had arms. What about the legs?
Maybe just like the
The
rods that hold it in place. I'm not sure.
Oh, maybe. Is it a newer rotary? Because there is.
Possibly. She didn't
We
say.
did have a new rotary that came with a thumb screw that tightened everything down. Remember, you were in that meeting, and it did not have the contact that it needed. And we did fix that. If you're having that issue, contact us a little more officially than on here, just through email, and we can solve your problems.
Yeah.
You probably contact sales and they.
Contact your salesman or support, and we'll take care of you.
Yep.
I guess we're getting a ton of questions this time
Yeah.
around.
Yeah. Gina Peterson wants to know if we have any suggestions with settings to cut and engrave leather.
Cut and engrave leather. Depends on what leather. I'll say leather is one of those things that has tons of idiosyncrasies. Also, it doesn't come in like your standard thickness. It's not like you go, oh, I want 1/8 inch leather. No, it's measured in, what is the measurements for leather? It's like a grade. The thickness is a weird measurement.
Might be like a gauge.
It might be a gauge, and I'm sure somebody will put it in the comments. But yeah, a lot of idiosyncrasies like black leather doesn't really engrave well. It kind of cuts funny. Thicker, more dense leather cuts really well and easy. If you have a Muse, I know Brittany and I from sales just did a belt, standard belt, sort of thick hide leather, and we did 30 power, 50 speed on an engraving. So,
You say we have a couple different leather videos on our YouTube as well, right?
yes, we have a lot of leather. I used to do leather all the time.
Yeah, so I would say swing by our YouTube channel. Like I said, look for Full Spectrum Laser, and you can search our page specifically for leather stuff, and you might have some good tips in there.
Yeah,
Especially if you were doing it like in the cut, because I know you posted like most of the power settings you're using when you did in the cut videos.
Yeah, boy, I'm trying to read this last one, and then we'll just respond via comments. Yeah.
Yeah, and if there's any other questions we didn't get to, if we missed you, you can shoot us a DM, and we'll answer you from there, or you can send us an email, all that other good stuff.
Yep.
One more question.
Yeah.
This guy says that you measure it in ounces.
Ounces.
But I also Googled and they have like gauges for thickness.
Gina Peterson
think it's
also said
ounces.
ounces.
Yeah, I think
Interesting.
ounces. Yeah, it is interesting. It smells good too.
Well,
It smells like burnt hair.
hmm.
Lovely.
That's that good. You want another one?
Oh yeah. Let's do one more. One more. Make it a big one. We have a lot of
Bob
questions.
Humphrey asks, why does the capture workspace not line up accurately with the actual material?
So that sounds like a camera calibration issue. Bob, what I would do is make sure your gantry is square again, and then do a camera calibration, which we do have a video in the YouTube for that, and you'll find that the camera is a lot more accurate after a camera calibration. If you have any issues, support can walk you through it, but the video does a pretty good job.
I'm going to pop in on one last thing, because it looks like Julio Rojas had a really good question here about coupons for lenses, which I think is a really good time to remind you guys that our next live show, we're going to be announcing our winner for this month, where you can get $250 in store credit and a free lens. And all you have to do is hashtag made with FSL, You can do that on Instagram, Facebook, anywhere you're posting. Use that hashtag. We will see your posts. We will look as a team and pick out our favorites, and winners, you can get a free lens. So if you're looking for that opportunity, there it is.
I mean, it's an easy win. If you've ever made anything super cool, then you post it on Facebook with that hashtag, and yeah, we'll pick it.
I'm personally, if you want to appeal to me, big fan of those videos where you see how you're actually making it, all the steps to your project. I really like seeing how it all comes together. So.
Yeah, I think a small video. I think Joy's been doing that a lot. She does a lot of cool stuff with the videos. I would pick a video. Also, if it's on point, like if it's, if it's like St. Patty's Day thing. Like if St. Patty's Day is around the corner and then you do a project that's St. Patty's Day, I think that hits it on the head, you can win a lens. So sort of, yeah, that's, there's no real rhyme or reason. It's whatever
we're feeling when we go through them. We're going to look at everything that's been hashtagged for this month. So start tagging. We'll see you out there.
See you out there.
Yep, and we do that every month.
Yes.
So join the contest. If you have any more questions, put them down in the comment section and we will get to them later. If you like these videos, please like and subscribe. We're only going to do more. If you have any suggestions on what you want to see, like some people did in the comments over here, then yeah, just put them in the comments there too. And we will get to them. We'll make it. We want to do stuff for you guys. And I think until next time, Shelby,
keep making.
Hey everybody, thanks for watching. If I can roll a nat 20, you all have to like and subscribe. Well, you should like and subscribe anyway.